Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today I'm actually going to be drawing Wreck-It Ralph. I recently rewatched the first movie because the second movie is coming out, and I haven't actually seen it since it first was released in theaters. And I wanted to go, for this drawing I wanted to go for my own look. I wanted to stick more to my style of drawing because I've been doing a lot of experimenting lately, like painting and just trying a lot of this stuff that's out of my comfort zone. And I just wanted to do something to kind of boost my self-esteem, something that I felt comfortable with. I did try to draw Wreck-It Ralph already as a painting, and Vanellope as well. And for those first attempts, I stuck to like the character designs from the movie, but I felt like I wasn't really having fun. I spent like a couple hours on it, and then I decided to just start over and just kind of do it my own way, just kind of have fun. And I feel like that mentality kind of paid off because I'm actually really proud of this drawing. The idea of the drawing itself was supposed to be like kind of like a Hulk, a Lolita on top of an Incredible Hulk like shoulder, kind of just have like this anime kind of dynamic, like the big guy with the small girl on his shoulder, kind of like in Bleach with Kenpachi and that little girl. And I kind of feel now I could have made Vanellope a lot cuter, but the drawing's done and I'm happy with it. But let me go ahead and talk about it here, the process, I suppose. So as usual, we have the sketching process. Well, not the sketching, the thumbnail process is what people call it, where I kind of just do a very, very rough like outline of where I want the characters to be and stuff like that. The poses, just kind of the layout of the drawing itself. And then I went into the sketching. This is where I have the most fun, I suppose. I'm more of a sketching person. I don't have much experience inking, coloring, or painting, but I've been pushing myself to learn all of these things. But for now, sketching is really like I have the most fun. But after I did the sketch, I'm doing the inking right now in the video. The brush I use is just a normal paintbrush, but the settings are tweaked a bit in Adobe Sketch. If you want to know, I bring down the flow a little bit, and I bring down the size a little bit too. Since the Adobe pencil goes by pressure and speed, that's how I get those like points, like those the thin ends to my lines. I just grab the regular acrylic paintbrush and I kind of tweak the settings so I can get these like spiky lines, I should say. Inking is always interesting because I always have a choice between doing a really clean ink, like just making it look like a professional level work, or just kind of sketching the lines to keep like the energy of the drawing still present. And I always choose to kind of stick with the more sketchy looking kind of inking, just because I want to, like I said, I want to keep that energy, and I just think it looks a little more interesting. I am going to try to do like a very clean picture in the future, like with like some really straight lines and straight curves and stuff like that, just to kind of see what they look like. And as far as like my coloring process goes, it's changed completely from before. I used to kind of just like paint whatever I felt like painting. Somebody cutting something in the background? Do you guys hear that? It's like a saw. Anyways, but now I'm starting to realize what I do now is I kind of just do this thing called flattening, where you kind of just color all like the basic shades of everything that's going to be colored, kind of to just like just a shade of orange. Like that's like the overall orange I'm going for. And then after that, I go ahead and I actually create new layers just in case I make a mistake. I'll create a new layer. I'll try to use like a spray brush. Adobe Sketch doesn't have like a really nice airbrush, so I just kind of use the spray brush that's on there, and I just mess with the opacity and try to like manually create like an airbrush look. And then once I have that, I mess around with the filters until there's like a lot of gradient going on in my drawings, because the gradient helps me choose like colors later on. And then again after that, I'll put another layer on top of that, mess around with the filters and just add the shadows and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll manually choose what color I want, like which shade I want for the shadow. But a lot of times I'll just like use black and then change the opacity and change the filters until like it creates like a darker orange. And then I'll just kind of do that. That's kind of like the easy way, I guess, for me, is kind of just like tweak the settings until like it's the color I like. And then after that, I do try to go and add some highlights, whether it's like a very subtle light white, kind of just to add more to that gradient look. And then my favorite thing to do these days is to actually add white highlights. I never used to do anything besides just like a color and a shadow, but now we got all these gradients and stuff like that that just kind of make the drawing more interesting. But now I add white highlights, and like the white highlights I feel like add just like another dimension to the drawing right away. And so I do suggest adding like some really hard like lights and shadows. From this drawing I do realize I need to work on my shadows. I feel like yeah, there are shadows, but there's not enough contrast. Like I think I need to go a little bit darker with some of the shadows and kind of add more contrast, because the more contrast, you know, the more interesting the drawing looks. Like luckily this drawing is saved with like the dark inking lines, so it doesn't look too bad, but that is something to really look out for in the future. But overall, I'm really happy with the drawing. I know it's not that complicated of a drawing, but I just kind of want to give my thoughts, because every drawing I do, or every piece I do learn a lot. I constantly trying new things, and it's really paying off. Like my drawing style from a couple months ago is just completely different to what it is now. If you look through my older videos, you'll see like my first drawing. I think one of my first drawings, like the Flash from the Justice League movie. It's just like it just feels like it's two completely different people. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and finish up here. Tell me what you think of the drawing and maybe the movie if you care below, and I'll enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
It's just my nature. I'd rather fight with my sword than run away, that's all.
So that's the only reason? You fought 100 men because it's not in your nature to run away.
Yeah, pretty much.